Hi, my name is Bria Coleman, and I am a student at James Madison University. And today I'm going to talk about something extremely important to me, which is adding diverse literature into the English language arts classroom requirements. To talk about diverse literature, we have to talk about the current requirements of literature in the English language arts classroom. After a holistic analysis of the literature being used in many schools, I have noticed two main things. Most of the authors are white, heterosexual males or females, and a majority of the characters are white. Don't believe me? Let me take you on a journey through my reading education all the way back to the 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was required to read The Diary of Anne Frank, Freak the Mighty, and Lord of the Flies. All of these authors were white and all of the main characters were white. My freshman year of high school, I was required to read Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, and Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, which did have a prominent African American character, but his role was falsely being accused of rape by a white woman, which bothered me, but I guess that was the diverse element of that year's instruction. Sophomore year, I read Lord of the Flies again, Shakespeare's Macbeth, and 1984. Junior year, I read The Great Gatsby, Into the Wild, Columbine, and The Scarlet Letter. Senior year, I read A Clockwork Orange, The Stranger, and Ibsen's Doll House. And while all of these pieces of literature gave me great experiences and great perspectives on the white experience of the world, I noticed that it lacked much of my own experiences. And even though I enjoyed reading these great pieces of work, I found myself asking as a diverse learner, so what? In high school, I was able to read Invisible Man entirely by my own choice by Ralph Ellison. It was then that I learned that African American literature and diverse literature as a whole deserves to be given more literary merit than it actually is. It shouldn't just be a free choice. It allowed me to realize that my experience mattered and everybody else that isn't white, their experience matters, and that it deserves to be learned about in the classroom. As a pre-service teacher looking into the content requirements for reading and English language arts, I am disappointed in the requirements for diversity. As educators, we need to legitimize all of our students' experiences as people, and it shows them that they're not alone and that they are not just substandards to their white classmates. I've been fortunate enough to read powerful literature about diverse experiences such as The Hate You Give and It's Kind of a Funny Story. I've learned valuable lessons and I've seen this as a mirror perspective, being able to be a person of color identifying with these things. Literature should provide mirror experiences where students are able to see their experiences and relate to it. And it should also provide window experiences where students can learn about a different perspective other than their own. Often for white students, they have a lot of mirror experiences, but for students of color or diverse backgrounds on multitudes of levels, they don't get to see their experiences represented. And by adding diverse literature into our classrooms, we can shift that. We can have students have mirrors and windows rather than just one or the other. By teaching our students about other experiences and other perspectives, we can move them towards being more empathetic people. We can spark hard conversations and challenge the norm. Literature can serve as a tool to spark these conversations and to allow our students to be able to think about these hard, tough questions and build them towards making a more equitable world. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Diverse literature is one of those tools that we can use as educators to move our students to fixing these problems and to recognizing the inequalities that surround them. As you venture into your own classrooms, consider changing your classroom library to include a multitude of perspectives. By allowing our students to see what's right and what's unfair and all of the many questions they may have and discussing it in a safe environment, we can help them become pragmatic citizens.